There's a new, as everybody saw, the new app for Asterix to put on an Android, where you can, doesn't matter where you go, you could link into RMI. Doesn't matter where you are, as long as you got a phone and internet, you can link into RMI's node and join it that way off your phone.
Alan,
So yes.
what's going to happen to RQQ then? If you switch over the ProCam to, let's say, RMI.
Okay, so here, I mean, this is future. I mean, we're going one step at a time, but to further that, so let's say, okay, 145 55, all right, or 146.55, the simplex node.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not being used. Well, let's say we put the Asterix node on the other RMI repeater. Is there any sense in running two 2-meter Asterix nodes? No, really. So the suggestion may be to the club, and see what the response is going to be. Take out that node on 146.55, take the Yaesu system fusion repeater, plug it in there, and run that as a straight system fusion repeater that we have internet there and connect it into the system.
Hey guys, I gotta go. Chance is here, so.
Okay, thank you, Rusty.
No problem. We'll talk to you
Long,
guys later.
Rusty.
See
Take
ya.
care.
Take care,
See you
Rusty.
later, Rust.
So
Yeah, I
there's
like that idea, Al.
there, yeah, and just run it as a straight C4 FM. So those that have got C4 FM and want to use it and connect into nets like Frank has over in Sudbury, and the ability to do the CQ Canada net on Wednesday nights, we have that ability, and it'll be on VHF, which would mean we'd have great further coverage and have that ability, and have RMI alone on the other sites.
So
that,
you would run the ProCan on 443?
it would still run on 443 as an option, yes, because that's IRLP. We're not looking at getting rid of IRLP, but the ProCom also runs on Asterix. And if we put an Asterix node at RMI site, then you have that option, flip on RMI or flip on RQQ 444.300, and you can check in either repeater. You have that
But
ability.
weren't you telling me that the usually the 444 was a little bit better for receiving and transmitting, though? It was clear on FM?
Where you're getting the confusion is that it was better because you could hear both sides of the conversation if you were local, because it's going through a repeater, versus a simplex node on 146.55. If you checked into the ProCom net on 146.55, and I checked in on my handheld and Little Current, and Bob checked in from Elliott Lake or other people locally, you wouldn't hear their transmissions. You hear the net controller coming back and saying, "Oh, thanks very much, Bob. Well, that's good news to hear from Elliott Lake." But you didn't hear Bob check in because your simplex connections aren't good. So the suggestion was to go over to RQQ 444.300. That way you get to hear both sides of the conversation. If we put it on the RMI repeater, you're hearing both sides of the conversation. So it's going to be that better than the simplex node.
Yeah, and from Sudbury, I can't hear RQQ 444.3.
Yeah, because it's only about 70%. And of course, it's not on as high a tower as RMI. And it's not running 100 watts compared to the UHF.
Well, once you move it, let's say you move it to RMI, then Sudbury will probably be able to pick it up then.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
By the way, the other morning, I was tuning across the channels with the 7250 here, and I came across a maritime ProCom net.
Correct.
Yeah, and I didn't realize they were running in the morning as well.
Yeah, Wednesday mornings, Bill, you know a lot about this net because I think you checked in. Maybe, I'm not sure if you were part of it too, Maureen, but I understand it's Wednesday mornings, 11 o'clock our time here, Eastern time, and it's kind of like the CanNet on Friday nights, because what it does the different time zones, and they call in, okay, anybody over in Newfoundland, the Maritimes, Quebec, Ontario, Manitoba, they call in each province and people, and it's FM, it's on that. I don't have a cron, which means turns on, turns off automatically. You need to know what reflector they're on and to manually turn on. But somebody must have been over here, turned it on, and you picked it up as a result of that. That
I
is
can speak
something
to
that I can easily do to that. Sorry, somebody wanted to say something?
Yeah, I can speak to that. Ed.
Okay, thanks, John. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, what I was talking about is the Trans Canada IRLP net, which I believe runs on Wednesdays during the midweek. And that's typically an IRLP net, so you can dial that up on the RQQ IRLP node if you want. I have to find out what the reflector is. But I believe it was John WM who asked me a few weeks ago about connecting in the ERA system for the TransCanada net. So that's what's happening is we've been connecting on Wednesdays for that net for, I don't know, about an hour or so. So if you're hearing it on the RQQ 14655 node, that's where it's coming from.
Okay, yep, that's when I heard it.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Good to know.
So
It has
does
been
that
going
mean,
for
John,
quite a long
that does that mean, John, that it'll be coming on every Wednesday morning from now on, or is that just a one-time thing?
No, it's a regular thing. Every Wednesday it comes up for, I think, from 11 till 12:30 or something like that.
So I didn't even know that. So thanks so much for that, John. That's really great. So the asterisk node as it stands now, the 146550, is automatically connected to the ERA hub 24/7, 365 days of the year. So whatever John subscribes on the EAR hub to other nets, then it'll automatically come through RQQ asterisk node here right now. So.
Good.
Okay, so that's what our next step is. I have the card and that going with it. So we'll get that figured out. See what our, I'm
I
sorry?
have a question for John.
Yeah, please go ahead. And we're getting some
John.
feedback again. Just hang on a sec. We'll find out where it's happening. I'll keep quiet for a minute. Sounds like I see you lighted up there, Tom, but I don't know if it's coming from you or not. No. Okay, not sure. No, you're muted. How about you, Igor? Are we getting feedback again from you? Wondering.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, can you just mute yours for a second?
Yep.
Yeah, it's gone. It was coming back from you there, Igor. So you've got some wires or something crossed there. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Frank. You had something for John. Go ahead.
Yeah, John, do you have anything up in Sudbury area that's connected up here for the ERA?
Nothing on a permanent basis. Usually when the Procom net comes on, we have the URU system linked in, which also includes the BLZ repeater, which I know covers into Sudbury very well, although it's not always available, but we don't look after that network, so we try to have them connected in on a bi-weekly basis, but it all depends on what those folks are doing. But yeah, we don't have a permanent presence in the Sudbury area right at this time.
Okay, thank you.
That could possibly change in the future, but you never know.
Well, just the other day, I believe it was last Sunday, I heard VE3RMI on, I think that's his name, or his call sign. I heard him checking in to the Sudbury repeater SRG, the main repeater. So I was just wondering what was going on. But all right, just that's all I had.
Yeah, what's happening is you're getting people checking into the Sudbury repeater because Ken has got the Echolink node connected to it. So if you've got Echolink on your phone, people can call up V3SRG and check into the nets there.
Yeah, but he brought up a node. It wasn't Echolink. He brought up a node. So I don't know. I'll have to. I have no idea.
Well, didn't they used to have an all-star node on SRG?
They did. They did
That
until
that
they
is
lost
no longer the case.
No, they. I think they lost the internet connection at the repeater.
Oh, okay, yeah. What about IRLP? Have they got connectivity there?
They do. It's on their UHF machine, V3YGR 444.200, and it's connected 24. Like you can get on that. And we've got members of the Manitoulin that talk to Sudbury members over there all the time. As a matter of fact, I think Ted and Tom, you've been using it quite a bit recently, haven't you? And that with it. So
yeah, we've been giving it a workout.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. I got a phone call. Carry on, people. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, if you guys have IRLP, I know you guys used to participate on the Procom net. You can still do that if you want to come in on IRLP. I think we're on reflector 9055. If you guys wanted to participate on the Procom net up there in Sudbury.
9055, okay.
And John, this Procom net, like one of the hardest things that I have is, they call the different areas, like, Niagara and Ottawa. And a lot of times I either miss when they've done our area, or I just can't stay for them to call our area. Can we call in and check in at any point anyways? Will that be acceptable?
Yeah, if you're time sensitive, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, then you could probably jump in at the beginning of the net and just ask the net controller if you can, take your check-in as time sensitive. Usually it starts off pretty slow at 8 o'clock, and then things really start to rock and roll about 8:30. So if that's what you want to do, then that's what I suggest to, I can mention to the controllers to say, hey, maybe you should take some time sensitive check-ins right at the beginning. That way they can check in and check out, and then away they go.
That idea there, then it gets carried away. Everybody's checking in early, and it just pushes everybody else to the back even further.
They do ask for any announcements or anything to begin with before they go to the Albany sector, which is Sault Ste. Marie and Elliott Lake and Timmins and so on. If you wanted to check in during that time, there's not a lot of us check in at that point, and it's right at the beginning, just a thought.
Yeah, and I can have them add that, ask for anybody's time sensitive, because I don't think they're asking specifically for that. They're asking for anybody announcements or emergency whatever, but they never actually say time sensitive stations. So might be, I can certainly let them know and say, hey, it might be a good idea to ask for that at that point.
Well, thank you, John.
Good suggestion, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the other things I'd like to mention. A lot of people, maybe in areas where we don't have all-star connectivity, because most of the network is connected through all-star nodes, but we do have that IRLP connectivity that a lot of people don't know about, especially in the outlying areas like, North Bay, or say we used to get some check-ins from Sault Ste. Marie. I don't know if there's a node up there or somebody looking after stuff like that anymore. But we used to get in a few check-ins years ago, but that's really fallen off in more recent times. And like I said, the system is not mostly based on IRLP, but we have connectivity there for those who don't have all-star connectivity that can still participate in the net. So I don't know, maybe we need to get the word out and say, hey, if you want to be a part of this, you can use your IRLP on node 9055.
Good.
Yeah.
When I
Hey,
started ham radio some time back, thought it was wonderful. We all had 14652 to talk to each other. Then we got repeaters, and we lost about half of the people because they couldn't work repeaters. Now, the more technical you people get, the less I hear that you say, well, how do you do this and where do you get to it?
Unfortunately, it's almost getting to the point where everybody's got their own repeater and they're all standing by for a call.
Yes.
And the trouble is,
Everybody
nobody's
else.
going over to any other frequency to call them.
That's right. The more complicated you get, the more we get spread out.
Sometimes we should get rid of some of these repeaters and everybody will start talking again.
Yes.
Yeah.
and,
That's right.
and that makes
it seems like we use RMI more than we use TOP up here in Elliott Lake because everybody's listening to RMI.
That's correct.
It's just a lot more popular.
And that's why, and I mean, the formula with RMI has always been that way. Like I said, when I started looking at adding additional items to RMI, I had club members said, Al, don't do that, because as soon as you do that, it's going to ruin it, because now RMI is a rag-chew net or rag-chew repeater that everybody listens to. And if you need to get a hold of somebody, you go to RMI and it's the go-to repeater. It has beautiful coverage. So people from Elliott Lake, Sudbury, all surrounding North Shore, Espanola, Blind River, all the areas. And that's the way the formula has been. There's been no internet connected to it. There's been nothing. And it's been very, very popular. So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So.
Yeah, don't get too spread out.
Well, and I mean, this was a prime example. I mean, we
Yes.
put on a digital format with it. And as John mentioned, I mean, down the road, we're going to have to look at revamping the whole Manitoulin resources, because McLean's Mountain Site, I'm expecting a call any day, and not maybe during this pandemic, but when things return to normal, the government's going to call and say, Al, thank you very much for your service in emergency communications. Get your shit off my tower, because it's coming down next week, right?
Oh, Al, they don't have any more money to get rid of that tower.
Yeah, well, that's what's been saving our ass.
Maybe that's one of the good things that came out of this pandemic.
Yeah.
It's going to be there for the next 20 years because nobody can afford to drop it.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, But I mean, the government is monitoring it too. That tower is almost 60 years old. I'm not an engineer. I don't know about metal fatigue and softening ground with guide wires, but there's been no maintenance done on that tower to tighten guide wires or that. I can go to one of the guide wires and it's just like this, So I mean,
you need a good sturdy tower like our fire tower up in Elliott Lake, which has been around since the 50s.
Yeah.
with no guys.
Alan, we have a swing bridge that's over 100 years old. So what the heck?
Yeah. What am I complaining about? I'm so sorry, everyone. Absolutely. We got a brand new tower there. We're all set to go, even though it's 60 years old.
Maybe we just need to change to spark gap transmissions.
Yeah.
A suggestion: you've got all these internet providers looking for a spot. What a deal! Get somebody to put a tower up there for us.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, the future is going to be interesting to see. What's going to happen. It can easily happen. Maybe somebody else will purchase the tower from the government and put some money into it. Maybe since we're existing on there, maybe we'll be on there.
Start saving now.
Yeah. The other issue is, a new person gets on it. Oh, you got all this stuff on here. Okay, well, then I want this so much a month for this item, so much a month for this antenna, so much a month. So yeah, give us $800 a month and you can remain on the tower.
Ooh.
So now your dues to the Manitoulin Amateur Radio Club will be $1,500 a year, plus GST. Lou will take your money as quick as you can.
It's better than cable.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I have to leave.
Too.
Oh, okay, Igor, you've got to head out. Thanks so much for everything you did this morning. Really appreciate it, and we'll look forward to hearing the next phase on the 19th. I'll get that information out to the other clubs, and we'll hear back then and see how we go.
Okay. Thank you very much to everybody.
So long,
and
Igor.
see you next
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you so much, Igor.
Bye-bye.